Recently, I've been seeing a lot of online discourse around Pokemon's 8th generation being very black and white. You have one camp praising this generation as being a flawless masterpiece, while others talking about it as if it poisoned their water supply, burned their crops, and delivered a plague onto their houses. Well, let's talk about Generation 8. Generation 8 started with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Before the games even came out, Sword and Shield has found themselves in controversy due to the exclusion of a lot of Pokemon. But personally, I don't care about Pokemon being excluded since they claim it was to make more high-quality animations. Let's talk about Sword and Shield. Right off the bat, the story of Sword and Shield is kinda not good.
Now let me be clear.
The story as the characters in the world were kinda in the way. I do enjoy Hop's character progression. Very fun. But I'm not playing a Pokemon game for the story. There are some good character designs. Very nice, very cool. Look at this one. Yeah, look, I'm pointing at it with my finger. A real-life finger. I'm touching the character. Very funny. When it comes to the towns in this game, a lot of them are just kind of there. Very nice, very pretty sometimes, especially that mushroom one. Here's a picture of it. Look how nice it looks. I like to. It's not a picture, it's actually a video. I'm moving in there. That's so awesome. But then you have like stuff like this other town, where it's just like a funny straight line. And that's a town. It's a line. It goes from A to B. Very cool. Visually, the game itself is also very lacking. It lags behind a lot of its contemporaries, even in the Nintendo Switch. You'll hear a lot of comparisons from this with other JRPGs like Xenoblade Chronicles, or even other Nintendo Switch contemporaries like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, as the game visually doesn't compare to a lot of the other games in the same console, let alone the console generation. But ignoring a lot of the problems visually that I really don't want to delve too much into, the wild area is a cool little idea for the first 5 minutes of the game. Like, the first, beginning of the game, it's shown to you as this big, expansive area to explore and find Pokemon, but when you actually play through it, you'll notice that the area is very lacking on things to do. It has a lot of cool architecture and stuff to look at, but they ultimately don't mean anything or do anything. It's just kind of disappointing. It's a cool idea. I enjoy it, but there's not much to talk about there. Pokemon designs in general, like this generation gave us some really nice looking Pokemon. I really enjoy Appleton. It's very silly, very goofy, very rotund. I would like to hold it. Dragapult. Yeah, Dragapult. That thing. Very cool design. The starters are there. I really like Grookey. I think Grookey's a great design, very funny. But then it evolves into Gorilla, and I lose interest in it pretty fast. Scorbunny's cool. The entire design is pretty okay. Very furry, very cool, epic. I hate Inteleon with a burning passion. Please kill it. I like Sobble though. Sobble's pretty cool. The wolves are cool. There's a lot of cool little designs. Here's like a bunch of them in screen. I don't like the rocks. I don't like the Stonehenge little dude. Stoner. Phalanx is cool. When it comes to the general designs, yeah, Pokemons are great. Pokemon designs are great. Who would have known that the Pokemon game has good Pokemon in it? Wow. Talking about more game mechanics and stuff, raids. Raids were introduced in this generation, and they're a lot of fun. The raid mechanics introduced in Sword and Shield are very fun to do with friends, and cooperate together and go online to do those raids. The issue is you have to connect online. Talking about Wycon. It's bad. It's bad. Other people have talked about this extensively, but like this internet is just bad. It don't function. It doesn't function properly, and it's very infuriating to try to play with random people on the internet. Like, if you don't have friends, fuck you, I guess. And if you don't have an internet connection and you're trying to play a raid, have fun with Martin. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool on PC, I think, personally. But after you beat the game, all that fun stuff, you get to see the funny cutscenes of, like, Hop moving his arms around and stuff. You get to the post-game. The post-game is awful in this game. It is unbelievably one of the most tedious and boring things you can do in a video game. It is ultimately a fetch quest where you have to go from town to town to defeat one big raid mod alongside the gym leaders, and it is the most boring, repetitive fucking gameplay I've ever experienced in any game. It is so abhorrently bad, and the reward for it is the mascot legendary, which is it's awful. I don't like it. I don't like the post game in this game. And segmenting from something I don't like to something I do like, the DLC. The DLC in Sword and Shield ranges from bad to good, in my opinion. There's a lot of promises. There's a lot of cool stuff that they do. Talking first about the Isle of Armor, which is the first DLC that came out. If I remember correctly, yep, the Isle of Armor. There's the wild area is immediately improved over the main game's one. There's a lot of it looks a lot prettier, has a lot more interesting locations. That's cool. Cave designs you can get lost in, which is very cool, very epic. The story in it sucks. Again, Pokemon stories are bad. Like if you want to grab a story from a Pokemon game that's actually decent or competent, look at Mystery Dungeon. Those stories are great. Everyone says this. I feel like a parrot repeating the words of someone else. But yeah, Mystery Dungeon story good, main story bad most of the time. So yeah, don't play this game for story. They're awful. Isle of Armor, fun. Okay, it's good. Looks funny. Crown Tundra, it has a creature with a massive noggin. If you squeeze it in the right way, it deflates and kills them instantly. Very cool story. Saying all that and all that stuff, when it comes to Sword and Shield leaves me a bit in a loss for words, I would say. Sword and Shield has a lot of issues, a lot of very blatant issues, mainly to do with its performance. The game struggles to run if you're playing online violently. The game struggles to exist, and it looks like shit. It looks bad. It runs bad, but mechanically, it functions very well. I really enjoy the battling mechanics in this game. It's one of the best generations for just going out there and fighting with your friends or battling online. The game makes it very easy for you to get into that, which is appreciated. Very nice, but overall, the whole package of the game has so many flaws with its stories, its characters, how it presents the gameplay throughout the story, which you would need to complete to do basically anything. And it's very hard to recommend this game as it has a lot of issues. But even despite all those issues, the games did very well financially. It sold a lot, because of course it did. But those weren't the only games in this generation, and we'll talk more about them soon. Hey, if you're hearing these, congrats, you made it to the end of this video. Thank you for listening to me ramble. If you have any strong opinions, any thoughts on Sword and Shield, leave it down in the comments below. I want to hear it. I want to read them. I want to see your opinions. I think that'd be fun. That'd be funny. But basically, this is the first part of a longer project. Just generally talking about Generation 8. I had to cut the second part out from this video due to time constraints, and if I didn't cut it, I wouldn't be able to get this video out before Scarlet and Violet, and I found that it was important to get these thoughts out before then. But once this comes out next week, I'll be working on the second part of this video, which is going to be talking about the rest of the games that came out this year. Briefly talking about animations and stuff, but mainly focusing on the spin-off games, Legends Arceus, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. So if you enjoyed this video, look forward to more next week. But yeah, thank you. See ya.